The Joint Labour Migration Programme convened parliaments from the SADC Parliamentary Forum, the Economic Community of West African States, the East African Legislative Assembly, and the Pan-African Parliament. The African Union member states and regional economic communities have underscored the importance of strengthening bilateral and multilateral efforts to bolster labour migration cooperation. These efforts aim to promote regular labour migration, enforce labour standards, and reduce recourse to irregular migration.
It's also an instrument dedicated to the implementation of the 5th key priority areas of the AU Declaration and the Action Plan on Employment, Poverty Reduction, and Inclusive Development. The joint labour migration is a strategy, focuses on intra-Africa labour migration governance and supports the achievements of the AU Agenda 2063, but also the Agenda 2030.
Member of the Pan-African Parliament Committee on Trade, Customs and Immigration, Wavell Woodcock, highlighted the pressing concern of employment crisis in Africa, which compels young people to seek opportunities abroad, exposing them to various risks and depriving them of their basic rights.
Labour migration are vulnerable to human rights violation because they are not citizens of the host countries. Their status often causes them to live in precarious situations. Migrant women in particular face additional challenges such as gender-based violence. It is for this reason that the management of labour migration is fundamental in ensuring the stability and development of our country. In an interdependent world, labour mobility in search of work is essential because migrant workers contribute to the development of host nations, fill gaps in labour markets, and meet critical skills needs. Legal protection of migrant workers is therefore required to overcome their precariousness and vulnerability and to counter the many abusive practices of employers.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labour and Home Affairs in Botswana, Opelo Jimmy, emphasized the regional economics and Pan-African Parliament's role in initiating steps that will ensure that targets are met.
As the respective parliamentarians go back to their respective parliaments, how much of what we know from here do we make sure it culcates and it becomes part of the policies that we derive, such that we are moving forward in leveraging of all the opportunities that are likely to come out of the labour migration.
Yolene Shapela, NBC News, Windhoek.